Hey guys, what's up? We're back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the lies, manipulation, and gaslighting by Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. Originally, I was only going to record this on Jeffree Star because I've done so much research and gone into his past so deep. However, Shane Dawson has gotten involved, which as an ex-stan, I do this with a heavy heart. However, it needs to be talked about. Now, typically, I don't cover drama or get involved in drama because that's not my thing, that's not my tea. I don't really care about it. However, what I do cover is politics and people who are in power who take advantage of their power to do shitty things and be shitty to other people. So that's why Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson are on the list. One last thing before I do start into the deep diving of Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson both combined, which will be on separate parts of the video, and the timestamps will be in the description. I do not condone hate, I do not condone bullying, and I don't condone any doxing or death threats or anything like that. So do not send hate, do not send disrespect or anything like that towards the people involved. Spread knowledge and not hate. First, we're going to talk about the days before he ran Jeffree Star's Cosmetics, which was on MySpace, the day he defended Dobby Vanity and worked with Dobby Vanity and his Nazi lipstick brand. Firstly, let's start about the tweets that Jeffree Star has quote-unquote allegedly sent to Dobby Vanity, which are proven real, and there are plenty of screenshots going around. Jeffree wanted to beat around the bush, not only on Chris Hansen, but on his Snapchat story when he goes on rants and whatnot, and wanted to say that nothing was really going on. However, if you're going to say somebody is a predator and say that you saw somebody underage in a hotel room with somebody, you cannot go back on your word on that, because that is illegal and disgusting activity, and you were only in it for the money. Let's keep it real. Now, don't get me wrong, Dobby Vanity or Jesus Torres was a master manipulator and manipulated many, if hundreds, if not thousands of people around him into thinking he was innocent. However, you said you quote-unquote saw him do it, and you didn't say anything. Not to mention, he had 24 rape cases on him at the time. He was kicked off the Warped Tour multiple years. On top of that, in this video clip that I'm not going to show in respect to the victim, Jeffree was there while Dobby grinded on an underage girl who was very obviously underage, and it's not the first time that he sat there and let it happen. Along with Javon Monroe, which definitely was manipulated at the time, but it's unexcusable actions and defense of a predator. Now let's not get it twisted, and let's get it straighter than anybody involved. On the Chris Hansen show, Javon Monroe stated that him and Jeffree weren't that close, but we're seeing multiple times not only making out on stage, but behind stage. I'm 90% sure you don't make out with strangers and then go party with them in a tour bus. If you're touring together, you always have to have communication, obviously. And your stories don't line up. It's bullshit, and it's obvious that they're both lying. Which, let's keep it focused on Jeffree Star, which still lied about Chris Hansen show to cover his own ass, which is bullshit, again. Now, on the tour poster that I just showed, I will show the original poster that was originally launched, which was Jeffree Star, Blood on the Dance Floor, as well as 3 Days Grace. Now, moving on from the whole Dobby Vanity thing, we're going to talk about the MySpace page that he tried to make himself look like a victim and say it wasn't revolving around Nazis. Even there were swastikas on the page, like all over it, and saying it wasn't a quote-unquote real website when it was planned to be a business and a brand. It was a real website, and if you go back in the Wayback Machine on Google, then you will find the web page that is still up, because you can't delete things off of there. Now, if you look into the posts that I have up on the screen, you can see the change that he's made from 2004 up to 2008, the 4 years that he's owned the website and owned the brand Lipstick Nazis. A lot of people think it's Yuki Demon who actually owned it. However, Jeffree Star has came out and said that it was his lipstick brand, it was his company and whatnot. You can obviously chalk this up to just, it was a different time, it was a different era, it was MySpace, everything was edgy back then, we did edgy things. But I don't think random people just decided to start a brand revolving around Nazis and romanticizing Nazis. I don't think anybody's made that mistake. unless they're problematic and have a history with it and continue that history up until this day, unless they show character development in their life and improve from their mistakes, which Jeffree Star has not, which I will later expose the racism that he still expresses today because he's been exposed by it by multiple people. Even if it's not my place to accept nor decline the apologies that Jeffree Star has given, I'm going to share my opinion on it because it's simply what it is, an opinion. I'm not going to attack anybody directly. I'm not going to insult anybody's looks like somebody else, because I actually have facts, I have proof, and I have things to back up my statements. And I don't need to use insults to prove my point. Alright, now that we basically dove into the whole Jeffree Star and his past, and that continues up to this day because it's been exposed for a lot more than I care to cover, which I will share some links down in the description below if you want to look at the recent drama that's been happening with James, Tati, and everybody coming out about being on his payroll. But now we are going to cover Shane Dawson and everything that he's done. First, I would just like to make a few disclaimers. Yes, Shane does struggle with very bad anxiety and depression. However, yes, I do as well, and I've never used that as an excuse to be toxic and gaslight people and do blackface and brownface and be very pedophilic towards minors and other things like that. On top of that, yes, Shane has struggled with obesity and bullying, and he's had a dark past. However, I'm not going to allow that to excuse him for the actions that he's done or anything like that, because that's an excuse, and we don't use excuses in this household. We own up to our mistakes, and we move on from them and grow, which he's chosen not to do and glossed over the fact that he has done and said inappropriate things when he was a grown man in his 20s and 30s, because they continue throughout those years. With that being said, let's move on to the videos of him doing blackface, brownface, and everything like that, and then we're going to move on to pedophilia towards the end. You didn't know before he was Shane Lawson or got into the beauty community or tried to and did a bunch of conspiracy theories or videos like that with Garrett and Drew and all of them. Before that, he had a channel called Shane Dawson TV where he posted multiple video clips of music videos that he made or vlogs that he did in his 20s or anything like that, and he did blackface a lot and brownface a lot and made fun of minorities a lot. Since the controversy in 2020 with James, Tati, Shane, and Jeffree and everything coming up about Shane, he has since deleted all the videos on his channel, which is also a sign of improvement, which I am very glad about. However, he kept the videos up to 2019 or close to the beginning of 2020. And if you go back to the Wayback Machine, you will see that it has been up for years, and he's been profiting and monetized all of his videos on that channel. Therefore, he's been making money from all of the videos on that account, including the blackface and brownface videos, which is where the videos that have resurfaced came from. On top of the racist videos that he's made, he also made Shanae merch, which is also considered very racist and derogatory, and his merch is still up on the merch store and for sale, and you are able to buy it. He also had some other old merch which he recently also deleted, and he's been profiting from for years now. Not to get too personal or like in depth, but however, if you were truly sorry about something that you have done 10 years ago, wouldn't you have deleted it years ago before profiting hundreds if not thousands of dollars off of it? Or would you delete it as soon as it gets brought to light and you're exposed for it? Because it sounds like you're apologizing and deleting it because you got caught. On top of all of that, if you truly changed as a person, you wouldn't be defensive if people call you out for supporting racist people such as Trisha, who you know has a racist and very disturbing past, as well as Jeffree, who also has a very racist and disturbing past, which you are giving them platforms and openly victimizing them and making them seem like good people. If you've grown as a person and changed your morals, your friends should also change their morals and grow as people. You've dropped your good friends Garrett and Drew, who were perfectly fine and respectable people, and got friends like Trisha and Jeffree. Like I said before, if your morals change, your friends should also change. And if they don't change, you move on, regardless of your relationship with them. And I know Shane and Jeffree have been friends for years now, even probably before YouTube. However, Trisha still has her fair share of controversies to this day, making fun of the DID community, calling them insane and crazy, pretending to have DID, pretending to be trans, pretending to come out as bi, and lying and all this stuff, and along with being racist. If you don't support it, drop them. It's not hard. Now that we discussed all the racism in Shane's past and how he has not moved on from that because his morals have not truly changed unless his friendships have changed and he's changed as a person, which has proven that he has in some light, and however he has not in other lights because he's continued glossing over these facts and victimizing himself and gaslighting his fans. We're now going to talk about his pedophilic past and how it has led up to his podcast days and how he has also glossed over that fact and not really truly talked about it. Actually, it was the video of Shane Dawson in his 20s pretending to get off on an 11-year-old girl and her poster of Willow Smith. And of course there's dark humor, but however, this is just disgusting, and Will Smith and the entire Smith family has called him out on it. It is disgusting behavior and there's no excuse for it. There's also videos of Shane Dawson calling a 12-year-old quote-unquote sexy when it's a 12-year-old. It's a child. It's disgusting. And the fact that you could even sit there and say that about a child is disturbing, and admitting to child pornography, whether that's true or not, but it's disturbing. And on top of all of that, you said you openly justified pedophilia, and you said everybody has their fetishes, why not be attracted to children? That's a direct quote from you. That's not a joke. That's just you openly justifying pedophilia, and your co-workers that were there at the time were very uncomfortable, and that's shown very openly in the video recording of the podcast. It's not a joke. You were justifying pedophilia. And moving on from all the pedophilia claims, you've also openly and physically assaulted dogs and made jokes about having sex with your cat on camera. I'm obviously not going to show the videos on here, however, you put your face in the crotch of a dog and continued to assault the dog accordingly. On top of that, you made jokes about having sex with your cat and later apologized for it, which was a half-assed bullshit apology. And you never even talked about the dog thing, because it hasn't came up on mainstream media yet. Now that we've talked about all the past controversies with both Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, we're going to move on to what is happening in today and why this is all coming to light just now, and why both of them are quote-unquote getting canceled. And I just like to state, I think cancel culture is bullshit. I think it's very cherry-picked. I think it's very stupid. I think it's very toxic. However, when both parties equally deserve getting exposed like this and getting canceled like this and deserve to get their platform taken away from them because they're both morally incorrect people, I think this is very justified. If you don't know what I'm talking about this video right here, or the series of videos where Tati is exposing James Charles for accordingly going to underage men's houses or inviting them over and hitting on them or hitting on straight men, which has been proven to be false and was honestly complete and utter bullshit. You might be thinking, why is Shane and Jeffree involved? You know what? I'm thinking the same damn thing. They weren't even in the situation. They had no reason to be included into the drama. However, Jeffree Star inserted himself like he always does just to get attention and to run his mouth and send very disgusting voicemails and expose somebody, or quote-unquote serve them a piece of humble pie by Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. So I would just like to state that James Charles was 18 at the time. Just freshly 18. He was barely an adult, and two grown-ass men in their 30s wanted to attack him and send their fan base after him, causing him to almost kill himself because they were jealous of him that he was more successful than them. And that's literally disgusting. It's truly and utterly disgusting. And Jeffree, for being the one to call out people who are interested in straight men, you are sure the one who dated a straight man, quote unquote, for years until it finally came to an end and you guys had to end it. It's kind of hypocritical if you ask me. And Shane, for not liking being involved in drama, you sure did commercialize on it a lot. You sure did post about it a lot. You sure did make jokes about sipping the tea a lot and making a palette with the name What's the Tea in it. And making videos after videos of drama that was popular at the time that got millions and millions of views. You sure did involve yourself in a lot of drama for not wanting to be involved in it. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There was a lot more to what the situation is than what I included because I could not find exact sources of where it came from or anything like that, or I just forgot about it. But I hope you guys got educated on what's happening and why everything's happening with Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star like it is, and why they're quote unquote getting canceled and all of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed and have a lovely day.